we've seen you do it time and again, but it makes us feel as uncomfortable as we felt when we saw Mike Wallace interview people back in the 1970s. I say we, just Richard and myself, because we're the only people old enough to remember that. But you've done it to Trump. You've done it quite a lot of people. But the Mitch thing. The Mitch thing.
Let's play part of it.
Do you? Okay. Well, why don't we do that?
This is a
instead of me talking about it.
It's a freaking simple question.
She's been in the business. You can tell.
Yeah, for like 40 years. Jonathan, here's part of your interview with Mitch McConnell.
You are known for playing a ruthless style of politics. Where do you draw your moral red lines?
I didn't realize I was known for playing a ruthless. I thought my wife thinks I'm a really nice guy. My kids like me. I got a lot of friends.
That's 4 so far, okay.
I'm shocked to hear such a comment.
Let's just take as a premise, and I think the audience might agree with me, that there are some people, maybe some substantial people in this country who might agree with that assertion.
I'm sure you could find
some moral red lines. Where do you draw them?
I'm perfectly comfortable with the way I have conducted my political career, and I'd be happy to respond to any specificity you want to apply to the term. What was it?
Moral red lines.
Moral red line. Yeah.
Well, I'm
very comfortable with my moral red line.
Let me give you one specific. Help me understand this. I watched your speech last year in February on the Senate floor after the second impeachment vote on Donald Trump. And it was an extraordinary speech. You spoke very powerfully against the most powerful figure in your party, the president. And you said Donald Trump's actions preceding the January 6th insurrection were a, quote, disgraceful dereliction of duty, and that he was practically and morally responsible, your words, for provoking the events of that day. How do you go from saying that to 2 weeks later saying you'd absolutely support Donald Trump if he's the Republican nominee in 2024?
Well, as the Republican leader of the Senate, it should not be a front-page headline that I will support the Republican nominee for president.
After you've said that about him, I think it's astonishing.
I think I have an obligation to support the nominee of my party. And
is there anything they could do?
I will. That will mean that whoever the nominee is has gone out and earned the nomination.
Okay, but Donald Trump earned it last time, and I'm just trying to understand, what you say matters. You're a very important voice in this country. You're the leader of your party, and you seem to hold two concurrent, conflicted positions, which is
not at all inconsistent. Not at all inconsistent. I stand by everything I said
I understand, but
January 6th and everything I said on February the 13th.
I understand that, but what I want to understand, which I haven't heard you address, is
because I don't get to pick the Republican nominee for president. They're elected by the Republican voters all over the country.
I fully understand that, but take Liz Cheney, for example.
You want to spend some more time on this as well?
I actually do, because I actually, I genuinely want to understand this. I really want to understand how you think about this, because Liz Cheney, who has the same view of you as of January 6th, she said she doesn't want Donald Trump anywhere near the White House, and she's going to work to not make that happen, because she thinks that there are some things more important than party loyalty.
Yeah. Well, maybe you ought to be talking to Liz Cheney.
No, but I'm not trying to. I really, it's not a gotcha. I'm just actually trying to understand, is there any threshold for you of what someone can do on a moral level?
I say many things I'm sure people don't understand.
Senator McConnell had no answer to that question, clearly, and good for you, Jonathan, for staying with it. This contradiction is not unique to Mitch McConnell. People have written books in the last few months about how bad Donald Trump has been for the party, how they can help to change course. I'm thinking of Bill Barr, who wrote an entire book about what actually happened, the lies around the 2020 election on January 6th and everything else. And then when asked in those interviews about those books, well, would you support him again? They go, well, yeah, if he's the nominee of the party, I couldn't help but vote for him. It is a core contradiction right now in the Republican Party that they'd like to step away from Donald Trump, but as long as he holds the sway he holds, they don't seem to be able to.
Yes, but I think I'd put Mitch McConnell in a unique category, not just because he's the most powerful figure in the Republican Party, But if you go back, as I did, before I did this interview, I watched every piece of tape of Senator McConnell that I could find, every interview he's done, every floor speech he's done that I could get my hands on. And if you go back and watch the tape of him on January 6th and then February 13th last year, they are remarkable historical documents. He's a very controlled man. He controls his emotions, as you see there. He's disciplined, probably the most difficult interview subject I've ever tackled, because he's just immovable and refuses to answer questions. But in those speeches, you can actually see emotion under the surface. January 6th, clearly on the day anyway, affected him. And if you watch his February 13th speech, he speaks with, it's clear in his mind at that moment that he thought that Donald Trump was a cancer that needed to be cut out of the body of the Republican Party. He says that Donald Trump, his actions preceding January 6th were a disgraceful dereliction of duty, morally responsible. He gave a litany of Donald Trump's misdeeds. And then 2 weeks later, he went on a news program and was asked whether he'd support Donald Trump in 2024 as nominee, and just without even thinking said yes. And
Hey, thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel. You can follow up on today's top stories and breaking news, or catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.